I had a couple of meetings where I'd been asked to kind of explore what it means, the trauma of being a Muslim woman, and I was sort of asked to, a couple times write dramas, and all my specs are comedy, so I'm like, why am I being asked to do this? And it'd be like, I had a couple honor-killing meetings where like, oh, could you do this thing? And I was like, it's not really my experience. I've got these comedies, and I remember being like, okay, this is sort of annoying, and there was like a frustration from that, which made me come up with We Are Lady Parts.
Comedians. How does it work? How does it work working with comedians? How much space do you need to leave for improvisation? What's the perfect alchemy? How does it work, Adjani?
For this, it's weird. So now that I've acted in other stuff, I've realized the difference. But for our show, we write our jokes because I'm not funny. so we make sure just come in, say your line. We vetted it. It's fine. Don't get too excited.
You are not here to improvise.
So yeah, but obviously we, and especially because the type of comedy it is as well, I guess a lot of our jokes are vetted as well as to like the type of joke, like what word you're allowed to say. So we really, for us, we don't have much room.
Okay, so pretty tight. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Nida, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably maybe a little looser, but again, quite, when you write your comedy, it's written. But I do enjoy it sort of when I'm working with actors, finding people who can do drama and comedy. And with our show, We Are Lady Parts, there was a music element. So it was comedy plus all this other stuff. And I suppose where I think there was some kind of interesting improv. I would kind of rewrite when I saw how actors would say the words and try and tailor it a bit more to their voices. But I suppose, I don't know, I wouldn't say I was a comedian. I'm a kind of comedy writer. So I was a kind of introverted at my desk rewriting jokes rather than a stand-up. I don't know.
A different thing.
It feels like a different thing. But ultimately, I think, you're trying to make people laugh and then open them up enough to engage in a more meaningful
but also
way.
challenge them in making them laugh as well.
Exactly.
It's I think all of your shows kind of force us to think about ourselves on our reactions to things. Nathan, how does the process work for you?
I am lucky enough to work with the incredible Samson KO, and he is fucking hilarious. So it's a thing of, I might
you sit back, let him do
it.
it.
Do you know what I mean? I might spend, half a year writing the scripts, and it goes in front of him, and if he's got a funnier line, I'm like, say it, my name's on the credits, boom! So I'm happy for any funny actor to improvise whatever the fuck
if
they
Samson
want.
Agent is in the audience.
It says written by Nathan Brown at the end. I'm like, thank you very much. I did not write that. No, but in our show, we really, we open it. We've got so many comedy legends who have been in this game for a billion years longer than me. I want them to bring everything and make it as funny as possible, really.
Excellent. Okay, so different processes. So let's hone in on the programmes now. So first of all, we have Adjani's Dreaming Whilst Black. Quabs is stuck in a soulless job in recruitment and dreams of becoming a filmmaker. The series started on YouTube, is that right?
It did.
Yeah. Back in 2018.
Yes,
and then it became a pilot for BBC TV last year. And am I right, about 45 drafts?
The pilot, yeah.
Talk us through that. How that's determination and resilience.
No, so Ali and I, my writing partner, we again we came from the web series world, so but because I guess contractually I think it's 3 drafts you deliver to the network or something like that. So like draft 1 that they saw was our like draft 7 because my agent Christian was just like, look. You can't show nobody your first draft. So we kind of did it. We kind of went back and forth ourselves for a while and then presented draft 7. And Sarah gave us like a 2-page Word document, single line spacing of notes.
Whoa.
Just like, and we were like, nah, bro. I'm not having, and literally just went back to the drawing board and she was just like, look, you have 1 shot. Like, that's it. And even in the pilot, whoever hasn't seen it yet, it gets spoiled. So he quits in the end. We actually planned on him quitting in the end, like episode 5, as like, that's his like, now I'm ready. And she was just like, but you don't have 5 episodes. You have 1. So
You've got the one.
yeah. So it was very much like and we went to like draft 15. And then that was our, no, I think we went to draft 15. I said, actually, this whole thing just don't work. I went back to outlining. And then we outlined about 10 different drafts and then came back again because even, again, Christian was just like, when he saw the notes, he was like, bro, this don't look good. So I think we showed our second draft was like draft, that they saw was like draft 25 or something like that.
I've still got 20 to go.
Yeah, no. And then she was like, oh, this is in much better shape. Clearly, you guys did not. But yeah, it was just, again, just polishing those jokes, and they were really onto us. Even that thing there, they were like, look, how do you describe a black woman without saying she's a black woman, without putting a stereotype on her? Because that was also what we were trying to navigate as well. And it was like, cool, she changed her hairstyle a lot. All right, cool, she likes spicy food. But it's like, who is that? And it was only randomly, I think it was when we were prepping for the shoot, our hair designer, Cynthia, was like, look, man, the hair thing is not, like, no. She's like, try, she's like, you Jamaican, like, if he says something in patois, that will. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, them kind of things. So I guess, yeah, so that's how it works. So everybody kind of contributes to, like, I guess it's not like everybody in the production kind of contributes to make sure that the jokes are like on
the
the
authenticity,
line.
the real.
Yeah.
Real
So yeah, we.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. On to Nida. We Are Lady Parts is a look at the highs and lows of the band members that make up a Muslim female punk band, Lady Parts, as seen through the eyes of Amina Hussein, a geeky PhD student who is recruited to be their unlikely lead guitarist. Nida, did you feel in making this and writing this that you were pushing boundaries, or actually do you not see it as pushing boundaries? Do you just see it as trying to kind of wake people up to the reality of what being a Muslim in Britain really looks like?
Oh, God. I think yes and no. I mean, the pushing boundaries feeling just felt that it was happening because I wasn't seeing anything like that explored the nuances and the different ways of being a Muslim woman. So although I don't feel like I'm saying anything that isn't truthful, it felt like there wasn't a lot of things that I could look to for inspiration. Although there's so much, there is great voices out there, but especially in television. So in that respect, it felt like it was pushing something. But then the story is so universal. It's so true to myself. So as long as when I was kind of staying kind of grounded in my own truth, I felt that it would speak in a universal way.
To everyone. Yeah.
So I think those were the two things. And, I had so much encouragement from my team around me, my script editors, my producers, who were really just encouraging me to kind of go more into my voice and just speaking to my friends and my family. And just, it's a weird thing when you draw from personal life and that kind of, and putting it into your work, and then the kind of bleed between yourself and the story. It can sometimes be just, feels like you're pushing boundaries personally in just saying things that feel, that you're delving into your own issues a bit in that sense. But yeah, I don't know. Have I answered your question? I'm just rambling.
Good.
You're a musician.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and I suppose like the music thing came because I really wanted, I had a couple of meetings where I'd been asked to kind of explore what it means, the trauma of being a Muslim woman, and I was sort of asked to, a couple times write dramas, and all my specs are comedy, so I'm like, why am I being asked to do this? And it'd be like, I had a couple honor-killing meetings where like, oh, could you do this thing? And I was like, it's not really my experience. I've got these comedies, and I remember being like, okay, this is sort of annoying, and there was like a frustration from that, which made me come up with We Are Lady Parts, which I was like, I'm gonna put music in it because I play guitar. I'm basically Amina, like geeky about Paul Simon's my guy, but I couldn't get him to clear.
Not Don McLean.
No, it's not Don McLean's all right, but like Paul Simon. But anyway, but you know, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna write something I can just like put all my favorite shit and get my siblings to write the music with me because they're all like actual musicians. So it was a real kind of just leaning into the things I think I do best and what I'm passionate about.
Brilliant, thank you. And off camera, if I can just ask you quickly about off camera, how important was it for you to hire women of colour, so that it brought the story to life from all angles? Did that feel like a kind of big part of it for you?
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, I have had such great collaborators. PC Williams, who did the costume design. You know, I was just big on PC, who won a BAFTA on Sunday. But you know, I was so just in awe of her work, and I knew she just has such an incredible way of working with costume in terms of like, it's heightened, but it's grounded in truth, and it's like aesthetically, I mean, she's the coolest person I know, so I was like, please, do my show. And so I was really lucky. And then Aisha Bywaters, my casting director, again, a woman of color, an incredible casting director. I'd worked with her on basically every comedy I directed up to We Are Lady Part. So I just had this trust, and she always brought interesting...
And a shorthand,
yeah. She just really brought, you know, would cast from Instagram. She just, you know, would look outside the usual channels and would just do amazing work. And so, yeah, and it'll kind of... And especially, you know, you're writing a show about women, and to have kind of women behind the camera, you know, we had like, mostly, you know, women HODs, and it just created a vibe, which was cool. But, you know, I'd say I don't go looking, and, you know, I have male HODs too who are...
But it's about putting that team together.
Men, cool too.
Opportunities employer.
I employ men as well. But, you know, it's the right people.
Yeah, it's the right people. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, and finally we've got Bloods, comedy series centred around paramedics in South London. What was the hook? What was the key to developing that main character? Where did he come from?
I mean, Samson and I, the way the show was made was amazing. Sky came to Samson and said, we want to make a 10-minute Sky Art short. And Samson sat down with me because he's obviously the busiest man in showbiz. And he sat down and he said, I'm really interested in this character. I had this point in my life, I was either going to be a getaway driver or a paramedic. And I was like, that's our character! And that's kind of what we built Malik around, that sort of juxtaposition. But one thing we made sure in the show is that he is a competent, brilliant paramedic.
Yeah.
Because you don't get...
No, and that's what underpins it.
Yeah, he is brilliant, and he cares, and he loves what he does, you know. So that's kind of the heart of the show.
Brilliant. And what was it like? How important was it as a new talent having the likes of Raw and Rough Cut behind you?
I mean, like, when I pulled up into Rough Cut, like, day one, I'd never written a half-hour TV script. So they really helped me through the process. It was huge. It was like a life-changing. There were days that were horrific where I'm like, I shouldn't be here. Like, this is too difficult. But then, you know, you get your script done, draft 45, 46.
And then you thought, there's a guy out there who's still only on draft 30.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I can still do this. So Rough Cut with Ash and Seb Barwell, my producer, like, they keep you on track, they inspire you, they keep you pushing and going. And now, you know, we're developing Series 3, and I've learned crazy amounts. Kind of getting there. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And rumour has it, you've also been working on your first feature.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that. I think you've just wrapped.
Yeah, no, so we wrapped the mix? So the film's wrapped.
Final mix.
Yeah, the final mix is done, so it'll be out hopefully.
Clues in the word final.
Yeah. It's done in it. It'll be out this year or next.
Woo.
It's a beautiful black love story. It's a rom-com. It's set in South London, and it's just like a love letter. It was just joyous, and that's what I want my work to be. I want it to be about.
Title?
It's called Rye Lane, like in Peckham. And it's fun, and you're going to be safe watching it. There's going to be no trauma just run up on you. You're going to... You know when you're just watching something and then suddenly some trauma happens? You're safe. Spoiler alert, you're safe. But hopefully it'll be good. And I wrote it with Tom Melia, who's an incredible writer, and Rain Allen Miller directed it, and I'm so proud of it. It's going to be fab.
Brilliant. Congratulations.
Thank you.